your history. You know, I mean, you have a unique story, and the first thing, of course, is you fleeing Zimbabwe as a teenager and going to South Africa for to get a better life, basically. Could you explain that time of your life, to the people that don't know your story?
Yeah, so for me basically, what happened is like when I was growing up, I grew up in Zimbabwe. I'm Zimbabwean, but I live here in South Africa because life is so much better here in South Africa, and everything is so much better than it is back home in Zimbabwe. And it was in 2008, like I made a decision that it's either I was going to finish my A level or I was going to come here. And I didn't have parents. My mother died when I was 13. My father died when I was. My mother died when I was 9. My father died when I was 13. So like life was pretty much difficult there in Zimbabwe. My cousin was looking after us, but it was not the life that many people wish to have. It was difficult, difficult, difficult. So at age of 16, actually, I went to the diamond fields in Zimbabwe. So I was doing illegal diamond mining and like smuggling diamonds at the age of 16, straight after high school. When I finished my O level, I finished school when I was young, and when I was supposed to go to A level, and money is nice and the diamonds were good. I almost got killed there. If you look at my body, I've got scars everywhere because once we were confronted by the police and the dogs beat me so much. I had 5 dogs, German shepherds, biting me there on all the diamond fields. I almost died. I passed out there. And life was just very, very difficult. In 2008, then in Zimbabwe there was this thing of there was big drought in Zimbabwe. There was no food, almost like famine. Like then it was just like an a decision. It's either you want to be here or you want to be there. And I made a decision, and I said, you know what, I'm going to South Africa. I didn't have a passport when I first came to South Africa. I came through the water. It's called Limpopo River. I came through the river, and it was just one of those times you just take that sacrifice. It is dangerous to do that. A lot of people died while they were doing that, and for a young guy, I was 17, about to turn 18. It was very difficult. And for a young guy to do that, it just showed me what kind of a person I was. And funny enough, I got deported on the same day I arrived in South Africa. They deported me back to Zimbabwe, and I got caught because I didn't have a passport. They caught me, put me in a cell. Then after a few days, then they deported me. Then when I got on the border, that's where like this thing of me never giving up in life and everything. That's when I feel like it started, because I decided when they deported me, when they put me on the border and they asked me, do you want to go home, get on this bus, you're going back to your village, where you come from. Then I said to them, no, I live here. I lied to them. I said to the police that, no, I live here in this city. Then they're like, okay, cool, get out. Then I got out, then I crossed the border straight away. Like they deported us around 4 o'clock, 5:30, 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening. By 7 o'clock, I was back in South Africa again illegally. I came here straight away. On the same day, they deported me. When the sun down, I was in South Africa again. And the second time was very hard because I almost got killed when I was coming back in here for the second time. And I was very young. And to have somebody for the first time in my life, obviously when I was doing the diamonds and on the diamond field, I used to see a lot of nasty things there. Like it was like blood diamonds, basically. People used to get killed in front of me. Someone was shot while we were running away from the police. Someone was shot in front of me. You just run over them and you run. But it was the first time someone actually hold a knife, a big. I remember it was a big knife. Someone just hold a big knife for me on me, because when you illegally cross into South Africa, it's not just the police you're running away from. You're also running away from the criminals. There's criminals that rob people because they know that you're crossing. You've got certain amount of money. You're not just going to cross without money. So you're running away from the police and you're running away from the criminals. And the criminals saw us, and they actually trapped us. And when the guy held a big knife, there was a moonlight, and I just remember seeing this big knife. I literally passed out, fell. It is like a movie. When I tell people my life, it is like a movie. I fell on the ground, and the rest of the other guys ran away. And these guys that were robbing us, they ran after the other guys, and they left me there. For some reason, they left me there. They ran after everybody, and yeah, man, it's crazy. Then came back to normal, I realized there was a fence there, and I decided, you know what, I have to go and run towards the police and get arrested at least, not get killed. At least I'll get arrested and I'll make my way back home than getting killed here. So I ran towards the police, and midway, then I saw one of the guys that we were with and said to me, no, don't go to the police. Let's go. We need to go. Then I made my way into South Africa, lived on the streets in Johannesburg for a couple of days. For 2 weeks, I was living on the streets, giving pamphlets on the roads, and life was very difficult first time. I didn't have, because of the situations that I was deported first time. The second time when I came, I didn't have any contact for my family members. My family members lived in Cape Town. It's another city in South Africa, and I was here in Johannesburg. And I didn't have any contact of my family members. I was 17, turning 18, and I was just this is my first time out of my village. I'm in a new country, new city. I don't have contact for anybody that I know. Lived on the streets, looked for job where I used to give 20 flyers the whole day for 20 rand, just so that I can buy myself a cool drink and the bread to eat. And yeah, like I lived here until I could raise some money. Then I memorized the number back home. Then I called back home in Zimbabwe. Then they gave me the number for my cousins that were in Cape Town. Then that's how I made my way back, my way to Cape Town. And even there, it was not easy, man. I was just a pikinini. They call them pikinini. If you are very young here, you are a pikinini. I was just a pikinini in a like you are a small fish in a big pond, and I didn't have any skills. I didn't have any qualifications. I was working as a gardener, and I started learning new things, new skills like painting. I was a painter. Then I became a security guard for a Pick and Pay where we used to work 17 hours a day. You clock in at 6 a.m., clocking out at 11:30 in the evening. And that's when I was a security guard. That's when I started MMA. Yeah. I started MMA through a movie. I watched a movie called Never Back Down. And then I watched Never Back Down. That's what's funny. And I checked out. I'm like, this is a sport. Fighting is a sport. Then I'm like, okay, cool. I think I can do that. And first days it was more about protection and being cool. I started MMA when I was 19. So first days it was more about that, like being cool and protecting myself. And I have a lot of cousins. We used to live, me and my cousins. They are all boys. Most of my cousins are boys, And I was the youngest, and we were living in one room, 6 guys, sleeping on the same bed, 6 guys. When I don't know if you have ever had this situation where you are sleeping on a king size bed, six guys, 6 men. The other guy is looking that side, the next guy is looking the other side, the other guy look that side, so that you can fit on the bed, And at least it was warm. You just have to buy 1 or 2 blankets. So yeah, because we're trying to save money, So and the other thing why I started MMA is because my cousins always started fights and all that, and I was the smallest, so everyone would try to pick on me, and I was like, you know what, I have to do something. And then I started MMA. And I come from a fighting family, man. All my cousins, even my father before he died, and his brothers, they used to always fight. And it's in our nature, fighting. That's how I started fighting. I thought, MMA is a sport through Never Back Down movie. And I'm like, okay, cool. I checked out, and then I got my first fight 3 months after training. I won it with 7 seconds knockout. Yeah.
Well, I guess going through all what you went through in your life, most guys, most people, when they fight, they have a fear of fighting. But maybe was that not, there for you because you've been through so much in your life? So when you step in there, it's a little bit more simple for you.
So because I've been so like it's kind of weird because growing up when I was in primary school, I used to be a good soccer player, and then when I went to high school, because my father died and I didn't have enough things and clothes, I felt I was more shy and reserved, and I never wanted to be in front of people, So the difficult thing when I started MMA was being in front of people. Even when I like this, how serious it was that I couldn't be in front of people. In high school, back in Zimbabwe, if you pass and you are in the top 10 of the best students in your grade, they'll call you up on the assembly in front of everybody, and you have to go up there. When I know I'm like most of the time I was in the top 10 of the overall class, I wouldn't go to school on the last day of the school because I didn't want to be in front for people to see me standing in front of people. So the difficult thing when I started MMA was not fighting; it was being in front of people. So I was very nervous, very very nervous on my first fight. And what happened is that that's why I won it so quick. I can't even remember. I just remember catching the guy's leg overhand right, dropped him, then finished the fight so quick. I was so aggressive and quick, and you can't even remember and memorize anything. So that was the first thing that was difficult for me. Then after that, after I knew, I can be in front of people. Okay, it's normal. I can do this. So fighting, yeah, it kind of comes normal to me. And whenever I feel like I'm in difficult situations, I always say to myself, I've been through it. This warm up.